3 real estate tips you can apply to the car flipping business coming right up.
Well, if you're kicking the tires on a used car, you might be surprised to find that prices are soaring.
KPIX5's Len Ramirez is at one San Jose dealership where supply and demand is creating some unheard of situations. Len?
That's right. Auto dealers throughout the Bay Area and the country right now are saying that this is a situation they have never seen before. You know, the old adage is that as soon as you buy a car, you lose money in value of that car when you drive it off the lot. But now some used cars are selling for more as used vehicles than they did when they were new.
All right. Just like that video clip, a lot of you guys have probably seen different clips like that, or newspaper articles or just online articles about used car prices and how the prices have gone through the roof. A lot of individuals are selling their used cars for more than actually what they bought their brand new vehicles for. So actually one of my dealer friends, my car dealer friends at the auction, he had bought a 2019 vehicle and put 30,000 miles on it in the last few years, and just recently sold it for more than what he paid for it in 2019. That's typically not the case. You know the saying, as soon as the car leaves the lot, it already loses value. But these are in strange times. COVID, things are changing. Definitely strange times. And so I wanted to put together a video about 3 ways to get vehicles below car dealer trade-in prices using real estate tactics. So I'm not sure if some of you guys are kind of interested in what I'm also interested in. My long-term goal is to eventually get into more passive income, meaning real estate, owning real estate, rental properties, maybe a duplex, maybe a triplex, quadrupleplex. I know real estate prices are very high now, but hopefully once, things drop a little bit, I eventually want to get into rental properties. That's my long-term goal. Car flipping is kind of short-term goal, but I'm assuming a lot of you guys are also into more passive income where you collect a rent check, on the first of the month, every month. So with that being said, let's get right into this video on how you can use real estate tactics and apply those same exact tactics on how to get below house prices and use that to get below car dealer vehicle prices. So the first tip that's typically done in real estate is what they call, in real estate also actually has wholesalers as well, and what they call driving for dollars. And so let's basically, what is driving for dollars? So basically in real estate, what people do is they actually drive around their neighborhood or in other neighborhoods, and they look for the worst house in a good neighborhood. They look for, grass that hasn't been mowed in a while. They look for windows that are kind of, old single pane windows. They look for paint jobs on the house that, the house doesn't look like it's painted. Maybe it has termite damage. There's, just junk out in the front yard, and it just doesn't look like they've kept the house up to date. And it's kind of, running down that neighborhood. All the other houses look nice, and then that one house is like an eyesore. And so basically what wholesalers in the real estate biz do is they drive around, they jot down those addresses, or they take pictures of the addresses. And that's the first step, is kind of driving around looking for houses like that. And so what you would do for cars, the same exact way real estate individuals do it for houses, you can do it for cars as well. So I know I have young, small children. I throw them in the stroller. I walk around the neighborhoods, and I tend to see a lot of vehicles sitting in driveways. And the way that you can kind of tell, you look for inoperable vehicles that are kind of just sitting there. It looks like they haven't been washed in a while. Maybe the tire pressure on the wheels are kind of low. You can also look to see if there's any grass or leaves and spider cobwebs kind of around the tires. That's another indicator that the car hasn't been moved in a while. Maybe the paint job is kind of oxidating, the paint's oxidizing. And that's one way to see, and a lot of these, people that own these cars that are just kind of sitting in their driveways. Or another way too is, if you see a car on the street and it's got a couple of tickets in the windshield, from not moving due to street sweeper, that that they have a car that's not being used. And so what you can do is write down those addresses where those vehicles are. And a lot of times it's car owners that might have a 13-year-old child, and they're saving that car until they turn 16. But little do they know that their 13-year-old child does not want that car when they turn 16, and they're just hoping to keep it for another 3 more years. So what you're trying to do is find a solution, because every problem, there's always a solution, and you want to come up with a solution for that vehicle owner. So that's the first step. So driving for dollars. And then the second step is you write down the address, take the pictures of the vehicles and where they're parked. And then once you gather, quite a few addresses, you start sending mailers, postcards, knock on doors, or if they're out in the front yard mowing the lawn or watering their lawn, strike up a conversation and say, hey, you know what, that vehicle, that reminds me of when I was, a teenager in high school. I used to have a 1993 Civic, just like the one that's sitting in your driveway, or a 2008 Hyundai Elantra that's sitting in your driveway, and kind of just ask them what they're doing with it. Say, hey, I noticed that car's kind of been sitting there for a while. Hey, have you ever thought about doing it? I'm a car dealer, or I have a retail dealership, or I have a used car dealer, a wholesale dealership. And, I buy cars for cash. If you ever think about, selling that vehicle, here's my business card, or here's my cell phone number. Give me a call if you ever think about, and most of the times they basically, you know what, I am thinking about selling it. Or, you know what, my kid's 13 years old, they're waiting until 16, and maybe 6 months down the line, a year down the line, that kid says, Dad, Mom, I don't want that car. I want something newer. And hey, they might have your phone number still, and they'll give you a call and say, hey, you had met me a while ago and offered me some cash for this, 2008 Hyundai Elantra, and, I'm ready to sell it. How much would you be willing to offer it to me? So that's it. The third step on driving for dollars. And then the fourth step is, kind of building that rapport, every time you walk by or you see him out in the front yard, just kind of wave and say, hey. But that's one way, and that's typically a very popular way in the real estate game. It's called driving for dollars. So you're basically driving around the neighborhood, and real estate, they're looking for rundown houses. In the car business, you're actually looking for rundown or older vehicles that are kind of not being used a lot. And a lot of these vehicle owners are willing to sell. They just want to get it out of their driveway, and they want you to take care of the registration. They want you to tow it out of there if it needs to be towed, and they want it, a clean, seamless process. They don't want to be dealing with, shady characters from Craigslist or OfferUp or, autotrader.com. They don't want to be going on, test drive runs with weird people, and they don't want to deal with that headache. They want somebody to come and take that, headache off their hands. So that's the first step, the first tactic, a real estate tactic that we can also apply in the car selling biz. The second tactic is Bandit Signs. So real estate, you see that all the time, driving, on the freeways or the off ramps, driving around your neighborhood. You'll see on the light posts or the freeway signs, you'll see Bandit Signs. We buy houses for cash, and you're also seeing them for cars as well. We buy cars cash, or cash for junk cars. I actually saw a very clever one recently. I should have taken a picture of it, but it's there's one that says college student looking for used cars, and then it had a phone number. And we know that a college student's not going to be putting out Bandit Signs to find a used car to drive around at college. We all know that it's a used car dealer using a tactic to get different individuals calling that number to say, hey, I got this 2004 Honda Accord, or I got this 2010, Hyundai or Nissan Versa, whatever the case may be. But that was a very clever one. It was a college student looking for a used vehicle and just a phone number. So that's a different way. Bandit Signs. So basically what Bandit Signs are advertisements that encourage vehicle owners to sell their vehicles to car dealers. To attract vehicle owners, car dealers place signs with messages like cash for cars or we buy cars with their phone number on the light poles, freeway signs, or corner area grass. So you guys can actually see a couple. you'll see these signs and, staked out in grass areas, or you see them kind of stapled onto the light posts or on the freeway off ramps. There was actually one right there, a picture, junk cars, they're willing to pay cash $200 to $400. So that's the second way. So you see it in real estate, and you can also apply it to car buying biz as well. And another one, the third one, is website search engine optimization. So what is search engine optimization? You hear it a lot, SEO. So basically the definition of SEO, search engine optimization, it's the process of maximizing the number of visitors to a particular website by ensuring that the site appears high on the list of results returned by a search engine. The key to getting more traffic lies in integrating content with search engine optimization and social media marketing. I actually got a couple clips from Google. So like if you were to type in Google and just type in cash for cars instant quote, you're going to see several companies popping up. Another one I also typed in was just we buy cars for cash, just to see which one pops up. A lot of these companies are actually paying for ads as well. So that way they're appearing first on the Google search engine. But this is definitely a way. I've actually sold one of my vehicles before I had a car dealer's license, and before I ever even thought about flipping cars years ago. I actually sold one of my cars that way. I just had a car. I didn't want to deal with, like I said, shady characters from Craigslist, before I was in the game. I would just wanted to get the vehicle out of my driveway or out of my parents. This is when I was younger and I was still living at home. Get it out of my parents' driveway. And I just, typed it in, clicked on one of them. They give you quotes, did it, typed in the VIN number and to 3 or 4 different companies to see who gave me the best quote. And so basically you just type in the VIN number, put in the specifications of the vehicle, and then instantly they'll pop up a quote of how much they're willing to give you. And then you can actually click on it and accept their quote. If it's one of the websites where you actually type in your number, trust me, they're going to be calling you and wanting to ask more questions about the vehicle. And it's just a quick way to get rid of vehicles. And trust me, there's a lot of people out there that have cars that just don't want to deal with the headache of posting an ad on, like I said, Craigslist, Facebook, Marketplace, OfferUp. Then they don't want to have to be taking all the text messages of the tire kickers. You know how many of these people send these ridiculous, text messages and offer you this lowball amount, and then they'll waste your time and say, "Hey, I want to come test drive the vehicle on Wednesday at 5 o'clock." And they ask for the address, and you give them the address, and 5 o'clock rolls around. You text them and say, "Hey, where you at?" 6 o'clock rolls around, 7:30 rolls around, 8:30 rolls around, and then they text you back and say, "Oh, sorry, I was caught up at work, and I just got off work. Can I come by your house?" You're like, "No, it's already 8:30. I got to get my kids to bed," whatever the case may be. So a lot of people don't want to deal with that headache, and this is another way that you can pick up vehicles for below dealer trade-in. So obviously this is going to require a little bit more work on your part. You're going to have to, go to GoDaddy.com, get a website domain, create a website landing page, create the portal for people to type in their vehicle, and have it to where you can instantly pop up a quote of what you're willing to offer. But this is definitely a way that you can pick up vehicles for below dealer trade-in prices. It's a very good way. So for those of you guys that are tech savvy and want to put a little bit more work, trust me, you're going to get a lot better deals this way. And any of these ways, the Bandit Signs, just remember the Bandit Signs, depending on your city, I know that it is illegal to put those signs up, but you see it all the time. A lot of people, obviously the police aren't out there, taking their time arresting people. They might rip down the signs. But I've seen signs up for months, and never getting taken down. And you see them all the time. Every day I'm seeing Bandit Signs. And also the driving for dollars, that's, and like I said, if you're driving, yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit of gas money. But like I said, you can, if you have young kids, throw them in the stroller and just kind of walk around different neighborhoods and, and take notice of inoperable vehicles or just vehicles that have kind of been sitting in the driveway for a while and not being used on a daily basis. But also this third step, or the third tactic right here, the website search engine optimization. So let's kind of go to the next. And so I actually plugged in a 2009 Ford Focus with 119,000 miles, and a 2.1 condition report. And I wanted to see what they would offer. So I went to Pedal, which is one of the companies out there that offers, cash for cars. And I typed in the VIN number for this 2009 Ford Focus, 119,000 miles, 2.1 condition report. And here you go. They offered me $720 for a 2009 Ford Focus with only 119,000 miles on it. So if I was desperate and I needed cash and I sold it to them for $720, they can definitely make thousands of dollars in profit, because we all know a 2009 Ford Focus could definitely sell more than $720. So right there, the base MMR, adjusted MMR, I plugged in the specifications for this 2009 Ford Focus into Manheim, just to kind of see what the adjusted Manheim market report is. And so basically they're saying the adjusted Manheim, so this is what car dealers at Manheim have paid for a vehicle similar, they're paying around $2,225. So without even doing anything, Pedal, if they were to have bought it for me, if I had sold it to them for $720, just based on MMR, they actually would stand to make, over $1,000 of profit. But Manheim, the estimated retail value on this 2009 Ford Focus with 119,000 miles on it, the typical range can be anywhere between $3,500 to $6,200, with an average of about $4,600. So there you go, man. Imagine if you're getting vehicles for $720 just because an individual wants to get the car out of their driveway and just get it out of their hair. They don't want to deal with it. We're trying to sell it and list it and, exchange titles and all that, because they're not, car dealer savvy. Estimated retail $4,600, and I'm getting an offer from Pedal for $720. So there you go. Quick video on 3 ways we can apply real estate tactics to the car flipping business. Definitely hit that like button. Drop me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, if any of you guys are trying any these techniques, and definitely share this video. There's 2 other videos just like this. And I want to thank you for tuning in. Until the next video, take care.